Hey guys, this is Fuberduge, and today we're going to come at you with another video review, and this is the final limb of the Combiner Wars Bruticus. Here we have Brawl. So here he is in his packaging. You got him there with the weapons, and you got artwork right there, and you got the comic book / artwork back there. Combined form, Bruticus. You got the part 5 of 5, technically it's 4 or 5 of this. Of my review sequence. There you have all the components there, minus Onslaught. That's the only one I don't have. You got 2 pieces of artwork right there. That's pretty cool. You got the schematics. You got his bio if you'd like to read it. So they have that. Nothing on the side. On the bottom, you just have the authentic stamp and made in Vietnam and the barcode. And that is it for the packaging. So without further ado, let's review this guy out of the box. Okay guys, so here we have Brawl opened up and out of his packaging, and I have to say he is probably one of the most controversial figures in this set, and I'll get into that later. But as for his tank mode, it looks pretty good from what I can see, although this color that he has, it's supposed to be a green color, but it's clearly brownish, which really kind of sucks, but I'm not really too bent over that. But a lot of people were complaining that the color scheme on the box is kind of deceiving to the figure, which does really kind of stink, but it's not that big of a deal to me. So anyway, for tank mode, he looks pretty cool. He does roll just fine. He has little wheels under here under the faux treads, so he does roll. He kind of slides on my background. Just I don't even know why, but the nice thing about the turret is you can rotate it up and down, which I think is pretty cool. But the one big bummer is you cannot rotate the turret at all, and that really does kind of stink. And this gun can be removed, just like so. And there is a port right here, and you can put that right there if you really want. It's kind of pointless and stupid. And I suppose you could fit it on the side here if you really want to, and you can do it on the other side as well. I guess the back is an option. You can do that if you really want. That's really kind of dumb, but anyway, I'm just going to keep this on here for now. So putting that back on. He does come with the hand-foot gun, so here is that. It is an all-new mold, I believe, so that's pretty cool. It can plug into this hole up top here. That looks utterly ridiculous, again. But the one cool thing about this figure is that they actually came up with a bit of an upgrade almost. There is a port that you can flip up just like so, and that plugs in right there. And just plugging that on, you fold the thumb down, and that is the proper way to store these hand-foot guns, in my opinion. That is probably the best way I've ever seen these things stored in any of these Combiner Wars figures. So I think that's pretty cool. Works really nice. If you flip this piece up, it can rotate, so you got that. And I just think that's really cool that they were able to do that. So taking that off, for size comparison, here he is with his false Cybertron counterpart, and this is the green I'm more like Brawl in, and this is more what his box art looked like. So that's really kind of a bummer that it didn't really turn out like that. But again, it's not really a big problem for me, so I'm just going to flip this piece down. So anyway, putting Brawl off to the side, here's with the rest of his pals. And, I have his gun still on. They look pretty good together, I have to say. They're not as bad as I thought they would look together. They look a lot better. Of course, Blastoff still kind of throws me off. But, yeah, they're shaping up to be a pretty good team. I'm really excited to get Onslaught with their ranks. So now we can get him into his limb modes. So first, to get him into leg mode, what you want to do is you take this whole section right here, this turret, and you rotate it up on a double hinge, and there are 2 slots here and here, and there are 2 tabs here and here, and that just pegs into place. And then you take the feet, or it will become the feet, and you untab that, and it rotates on almost a double hinge as well. And this, if you push it, just tabs right into place. So there you have that. And getting the hand-foot gun here, you just fold this piece out. See the hole in the bottom there? Plug it in. And of course, rotate the combiner peg out. And there you have his leg mode all finished. And that's how I'll be having him. And that looks pretty good. That looks pretty close and accurate to the original G1 toy, I'd say. So to get him into arm mode, taking this piece off. what you want to do is take this off, fold this back down, plug that back in, untab the arms, just kind of get them out of the way, rotate them. I guess just this way. I'm kind of making everything come loose here. There we go. Keep this tabbed in. You want to untab the legs, and the legs work just like Swindle. So you got 2 slot holes right here, and then a slot that goes right in there and keeps the leg from moving anywhere. So same thing on this side. Just tabbing that into place, and then putting the feet back together. And depending what side you want them on, it doesn't really matter. Keep this tabbed up there. There's kind of a tab right here on the arm that goes into a slot right here. It doesn't really tab, but it kind of rests there. So just move it back until it does that, and then rotate this to the according side. And you do want to fold this piece up to give clearance for it. And depending on what side you want it on, you can put it this way to get more elbow movement, but you can move it this way to make it look better. So you take the hand-foot gun, fold out the fingers, fold the whole bottom section that way, and then fold the thumb accordingly to the side that you have the arm position to. And my hand-foot gun's kind of loose again. Fold the combiner port down, and there you have the arm for Brawl. And that looks decent. I mean, I'm never going to do that, but it looks okay. It doesn't look great. So, yeah, that's it. And so taking this off, to get him into robot mode, you fold the combiner port down, you fold this piece this way, and you actually untab the whole thing. You untab the legs, and you just leave them like so. This accordion's this way, and it doesn't really tab in, but on mine it sticks, so you can do that. And I'll get into this later. You fold the arms, or first take the backpack here, fold it back, and there are 2 tab holes here, and the 2 tabs right there will plug in, keeping the backpack locked in and secure. Rotate the arms down, rotate out the forearms, and flip up his head, which I guess it's easier if you just push it up with the backpack out of the way, pull it up, and there we have him in robot mode. So folding the camera up here, yeah, he's very controversial, and the biggest reason has got to be he has no stomach. And that really, really sucks. It really does. That is one of the worst things Hasbro's done to us in recent years. I mean, I feel like they could have done at least something to fill in this gap. It just looks super, super ugly. And it kind of hides this gap here in the product photos, which is really kind of deceiving, I think, on Hasbro's part. But holy cow, that's just, see, this is my beef with this figure. He would be my favorite, honestly, if this was not a problem. He overall is constructed really well besides this. And there are a few ways to kind of fix that, and I'll go through those later, but this is how the instructions say you're supposed to transform him, and it just sucks. I mean, this doesn't even really tab in. I mean, you can just, the legs swing, and on mine it kind of does tab, but not securely. It just stinks, and a lot of people were really mad about that and complaining about it, and it really is a bummer. I found a few ways to kind of get over it, or like to kind of fix it. Number one, you can take this piece and rotate it like this to kind of close that gap up, and it doesn't tab in at all, so it's really loose, but it kind of does the job. But unfortunately, it makes him kind of a dwarf, and it makes him a bit short. So that's one way. Another way I found, which is the way I do it, you can flip this combiner port out, fold this accordingly, and kind of rest that on there. It doesn't really tab, but it does look a heck of a lot better. And I'm trying to position this so you can see it better. That fills up his stomach pretty well, so that's what I'm going to be doing with him personally. But for the sake of the review, I'm going to put this back up and leave him like so. And yeah, it's just a huge, huge loss to the figure that Hasbro would let something like this slide. So, I mean, what can you do? Well, you can take his weapons here. You can take the hand-foot gun, fold it like this. It can store on his back the same exact way. You just fold this piece out and put this on there. And that doesn't look too bad. fairly like it. It's decent. You can also fold this piece down. You can do this, but there's no point to that. So you can tab this onto the hole on his arm, and you can do that on either side, or he can hold it. And my heel on this is extremely stupid loose, and that really kind of makes me a bit frustrated. And another thing is he can't really bend his elbow with the gun, so he has to hold it like straight out like this, so that really does kind of stink. But it doesn't really matter for this piece because I'm never ever going to use that anyway. He doesn't really come with any handheld weapons unless if you count this as it. So you have to take this off and you have to put this in his hand like that. And he can bend at the elbow with that, and that looks kind of weird. You also can put it on the side, and that looks maybe decent but not great. I'm just going to keep it on his back. I'm never going to take it off because Brawl, for me, his signature look is the cannon sticking out of his back. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing with him. So that is it for weapons. For articulation, his head is on a swivel. It's not on a ball joint. He can kind of look up due to the transformation joint, but unfortunately his head does kind of go back into that cavity again, so it just kind of looks silly. His shoulders are not on a ball joint. They are on a swivel, and then they're on a hinge, a dual hinge, so you can have him sitting low, you can have him sitting high. I tend to have him right in the middle. His elbow's at a ball joint, so you can get the rotation, you can get full range of movement there. Nothing at the wrist. His waist does rotate, which is nice. He has a ball joint at the thigh, he has a swivel at the thigh, and he has a 90-degree bend at the knee, and he has really good ankle pivot. So that's pretty cool. And I suppose you can extend his feet sort of and do this, that, and the other, do the transformation joints, but that's about it for articulation. So putting him there to get for a size comparison, here he is with that Fall of Cybertron Brawl figure. He doesn't want to stand for me. About the same height, I'd say. I have to hunch him over, but in normal height he'd be like this tall. So just, he's only taller because of the gun, but height-wise I think his head's a bit taller. But again, I said earlier that I would like his green to be this green, but you can't really change that. So what are you going to do? I'm not going to do anything, so taking him off. Here he is with his buddies, Blast Off, Vortex, and Swindle. Just trying to fit them all in here. Looking pretty good. At least paint-wise, again, minus Brawl, obviously. But overall, it's decent. It's not great. But Onslaught, I'm so hyped for him, man. He's going to make this whole set, so overall, they look decent. They're not great. Nothing really stands out besides maybe Vortex's paint scheme or maybe Swindle, but overall, I have a generally positive opinion of these guys. But Brawl definitely has one of the biggest setbacks of them all, so taking them off, I believe that's about it for the review. So this is the Combiner Wars Brawl figure, and if you want to pick this guy up, I'll put a link in the description below for all the Combaticons together, because that's how it is right now on Big Bad Toy Store. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button down below. Please subscribe. Please check out any of the other reviews that you might have missed. I'll put a link in the description below for the playlist of the Combaticons as well as my other Transformers reviews. And this is Fuber Dude saying, keep playing, guys.